Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast, episode number 59 of the show, which begs the question, any players that you can think of that have worn the number 59 shirt in Celtic's history?
I need to start looking these up before we come out.
I was going to
cheating?
ball.
That's cheating.
I know.
That's what that's called.
Just
Can I think now? Nah. I'll give you a clue. One of them played for us between 2016 and 2020. Left the club. He's now playing in the lower leagues of England.
Calvin Miller,
correct. The other one you've got absolutely no chance of getting. So I'll just tell you, it's Callum Waters, if you remember the name.
I do remember the name.
Yes, played for us between 2013 and 2015.
Played as a stretch.
A stretch, yes, a stretch. Kieran, you look as though you know who that is.
I mean, I don't know him on a personal level, but
Remember all these names of Football Manager?
I know the name's ringing bells.
Celtic reserves on FIFA, selling them because they've not got a wee face. But welcome back to the podcast. Another huge week for Celtic as we head into yet another derby. I feel like every single one of these podcasts I always title it the big derby preview. Like, how big are these previews going to get? Because it's hard to just top the last, I feel like. But we've got a lot to talk about today. I am joined by two of the regulars beside me. First of all, Ryan McGinley. Ryan, you were on the couch last week. You was back in a chair this week.
Professionalism has returned to the Sellik the Thunder.
Yes, I seen people complaining about me and Callum's legs last week because we had shorts on.
Putting people after dinners, man.
Listen, I thought I had nice legs, but obviously not.
Just be thankful I wasn't on that episode, man.
We've all got joggers on tonight. So
joggers?
What?
Joggers?
Joggies.
Joggers, you can tell you.
Coke Bridges written at them, man.
And we've got Kieran Old at the other side of the table. Kieran, you had the week off last week.
Yeah.
This is the first time I spoke to you since we beat Rangers at Ibrox.
Oh, that's what it is.
You still buzzing?
Aye. Very, very much so.
Buzzing going out of the weekend?
Why? I've been buzzing fucking since Monday, man.
It's dragging. The week is quite frankly dragging. You know, we're getting to the point now where I think we're all just dying for the game to come around, and you know, we've got a lot to talk about because right now as we speak, Rangers are they through? Have they won? Is the game finished?
Still got another 5 minutes.
5 minutes to go.
It's done.
So they're 5 minutes away from potentially qualifying for the semi-finals of the Europa League, but they've played 120 minutes of football. So we'll talk about all of that. We've got so much to cover going into this game, but we'll start off with the big question. I mean, how are we feeling, boys, going into this game on Sunday? It's a different feeling. It's a cup semi-final. It's not a league game. It's do or die. It's win or go home. As Ange Postecoglou said, there's no second chances when it comes to these games. Kieran, I'll start with you. We've been at Hampden together many a time. In fact, we've never seen Celtic lose at Hampden since we've been. Are you confident going back to what feels like a second home venue?
I mean, after we went to Ibrox, which felt like the game that could have been the potential slip up and the potential change of course if we'd got beaten that game, we went out and we won, and we sort of put to bed any fears in that aspect. But at Hampden, I mean, we used to have this thing where it was the Hampden hoodoo and that, but I mean, I think it was you that sent in the record at Hampden since 2012-13. It's how many losses? Two
losses out of 25 for Celtic.
Two draws as well.
So 17 or something like that.
Crazy.
So I mean, we've been on a really good run at Hampden, but as you say, that anything can happen in a cup game. It can change, the drop of a hat. I mean, the amount of times we've seen Celtic go behind in these games at Hampden, but we've shown the resilience to come back. The perfect example being the cup final. Kyogo scoring straight away, and then Chipman with the lob as well, which I know we'll come on it later, but the lob is my goal of the season.
We've got a good point to touch on there as you bring that up, because Hampden, it's been straight sailing for Celtic. We know that. We've went there, we've won on every attempt since 2016. You know, it really does feel like that second home venue. But there has been times where we went behind. That last cup finals you talked about, the treble final we've talked about, and that links in together with going behind at Ibrox a couple of weeks ago. You know, this is a Celtic side that can stand up in the face of adversity and win these games. Ryan, we obviously talk about these derbies a lot. This is the 4th out of 5 this season. You get to that point, you feel like you're rehashing the same stuff. You know, it's derby day, anything can happen. Form goes out the window on that.
Just get a fortnight, we'll be getting it the exact same pattern.
I feel like Ian Crocker.
Just copy and paste.
I feel like Ian Crocker reading the same script before every game.
Derby day again.
But in all seriousness, we're trying to avoid all that same cliche conversation, but you're off the back of a game 2 weeks ago where Celtic were the better side.
Yep.
We have every right once more to go into this game feeling confident.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm going into this one a bit more confident than I was the one before, because first of all, it's not a league game. There isn't as much riding on it. I know there's a trophy at the end of the day, but you still need to get to the final, you still need to win the final. The fact that there isn't 3 points has calmed me a wee bit. I'm sort of enjoying this week leading up to the Celtic Rangers game. I think going into it, we're the favourites. I mean, you look at everything, we've won the last 2. Rangers are just coming off the back of playing 120 minutes. And we've had 8 days to prepare for this, so all roads lead to us, I hope.
That's a big factor of this game now, the fact that they've been forced into 120 minutes of football. We're kind of watching and waiting to see if anything happens, but we're assuming Rangers are through. Kieran, that's going to have a massive effect on how this game goes. The fact that one side has had 8 days, the other side took part in 120 minutes of a high intensity European game. You watched Rangers tonight, for example, they were playing really well at points, they were pressing high up the park, they were creating a lot of chances. For some reason they can't quite repeat that in the league, but the fact that they're doing that all tonight plays into our hands nicely.
I mean, let's see if they'd done that in 90 minutes, they'd be going in the high, and they're still going to be coming in the high getting to Europa League semi-final, obviously, because they've got there, but the fact that they've played 120 minutes, it's kind of a double-edged sword in that aspect, in that way of thinking, but I don't know, because they can look at it for the positives. We're coming in buzzing after just getting to Europa League semi-finals, but as you said, 120 minutes of football, I don't care how fit you are, that's going to have some form of impact on you. But I think what McGinley was saying as well, see, obviously the trophy's on the line, but in terms of it being no for 3 points, it feels like a bit of a breather this week. I felt like that with every Scottish Cup game this year, because I'm like, fuck, it's not the league this week, because at certain points of the season, man, it was heart attack material. It still is. Every game's still heart attack material until
we're not going to be comfortable till it's mathematically done. Sort of thing.
I definitely won't be.
I'm still nervous. I'm still really nervous going into every single game.
Quite right. But what were you saying?
No, it's just in terms of, it feels like a bit of a breather, but it still shouldn't be any let off. Everything's on the line in this game for us especially, and
that's what I was going to come on to next. And that's the importance of this game. Of course, it's a derby game. There's a chance of a treble on the line. I don't think we should be looking at this any lesser than we do every other game. There's no such thing as a defeatist attitude when it comes to Celtic fans, especially ourselves. But there is that, and I've brought up this point on my channel this week already, and I want to get your thoughts. Celtic go into this game, and there's definitely less pressure on us than Rangers.
Yep.
I think absolutely, because Rangers, they have a solid chance of going on and winning this Europa League. They could do that, but domestically right now they need something. They go out that cup on Sunday, season's over, and that aspect, we'll see what happens in Europe. Season's over domestically. They're not going to win anything. There's a pressure on to win it. Celtic, however, we're still on track to win a double, and a double was far more than I think any of us could have dreamed at the start of this season. We wrote ourselves off in terms of the league title. Suddenly you're looking at yourself winning a League Cup and a Premiership title. Does that make things a little bit better for us if we say, and touch wood, we've got a big wooden desk here, does that make things a little bit easier if the proposition of losing was on the table? I mean, we're not losers though, that's the thing. No. But it makes things, do you think the pressure aspect takes away a wee bit of disappointment from it?
Even though we're talking about it's no the league and that, I think Sunday's got massive ramifications for the league itself, because if Rangers want to go out and get a result, that gives them the confidence that they could go to Celtic Park and try and do us over and then try and limit the gap, and that's the last thing we need right now. If we can go out and try and squash any notion of that happening on Sunday by going and putting out a convincing performance and making sure that we get the result and get through to that final, then I think that would pretty much squash the hopes. But
that's the answer I wanted to hear.
I really, because even though it's not the exact same way as it was at Ibrox, but there's another momentum thing here, because if they win on Sunday, then there's every chance they could take every bit of belief into the Parkhead game.
So that's not what you want to give them.
No, the last thing you want to give them at this
and that's the thing, I'm confident heading into Parkhead because their form has been so good. We battered them the last time we were there. But listen, we just went to their home turf and we beat them. It's very easy for these things to sway, and giving them that little edge and momentum, try and avoid that at all costs. But as I've said time and time again, I'll let you go in a second, McGinley, give your sort of thoughts. I can see you holding your breath there, ready to fucking
think of what I'm going to say.
Oh, you've not got anything? No, I thought you looked that way, you're like leaning into the mic ready to go. But the phrase that I keep using, and I'll use it one more time here, and I'll probably end up saying it again in tomorrow's video as well, but I want to stick the knife in and I want to fucking twist it. I want blood. This is what some people would call war. I want us to win this war.
I don't know what the fourth official would say about that.
Don't want to be cosplaying.
No, not cosplaying, of course not. But genuinely, I want us to stick the fucking knife in, man. I want us to ruthlessly win a treble this season and laugh in their fucking face. Like, see that scene in the Simpsons movie when Bart's standing strapped to the lamppost and he's wearing nothing at all, and Nelson's just standing laughing at him. That's Celtic laughing at fucking Rangers. That's what I want this season to be.
I was so confused as to where the fuck that was going. I was like,
but honestly, I really do want that to be the case this season. McGinley, thoughts on the game in general. How is this set out for Ange and the boys?
I think it's just such a big example of how expectations have changed this season, because nobody really expected us to be in this position, challenging on three fronts. I mean, we've already got the one trophy. Just shows you how well Ange Postecoglou's done as the manager of Celtic, that we're fighting on all three fronts. We could be on the verge of our fifth treble in 6 years, which is
that puts every conversation to bed about who's in top. Well, not that there has to be a conversation, because we know we're still the top dogs, but that truly puts it to bed as to who the top dogs in this country are. I mean, you're winning 5 trebles in 6 years. How can you argue it?
You can't.
What's that? That would be how many? 15 trophies against 1. I mean, come on.
I mean, people argue about Man City's dominance down south. That's even more so up here. I mean, you look at Liverpool, they've won the odd league here and there. Chelsea as well, I know. But Celtic have been basically dominant apart from the 1 year. And there was a lot of asterisks that can go in that 1 year. So
we're getting the asterisks out.
It wasn't real.
It's a
Where's the proof?
Where's the proof? Let's talk about the game itself, the football being played in the park. The last 2 games have been fantastic for us. We've controlled the game, apart from that rough sort of start at Ibrox in the last occasion. Kieran, it'll be the same old story, I think, with Celtic. No sacrifices, no big changes. You'd expect them to go out and do what Celtic do. But we're off the back of, let's remember this, you missed the game at the weekend, you were unwell.
Taken down by a fucking stomach bug, man.
Yeah, he missed the feast that was the 7-0 win.
Best form of Ange I've seen this season.
That was beautiful. Did you watch it and get a stream back here, man?
Nah, back game.
That's the thing, you can still use the Pass to Paradise, that still works.
Does it?
If you log in, you can still watch them on Celtic TV.
I was just sitting watching on Heat's goal.
Listen, no, we don't do early goal here. No, but Kieran,
I mean, Pass to Paradise.
we're off the back of a fantastic 7-0 win. I mean, you're just hoping for more of the same, really.
I mean, you're looking for, as you said, the ruthless performance. I mean, I think it'll be the same team that started at Ibrox that will start at Hampden, assuming Yakimakis will be fit for Sunday. Aye.
Well, he's not
been training.
So the last thing that I heard was doubt, and we're waiting for the team news to arrive tomorrow.
By the time this podcast,
we'll know the team news. But I'm assuming that Giacomakis won't be involved.
See, I'm alright with Kyogo starting as well, but it's just, I think it's a different kind of way you set up going forward. I mean, I know it's still Preston and that, but I feel like Kyogo gives you something different than Giacomakis does. I'm not going to use the benchmark of being us getting beat at Ibrox at the start of the season, because that was just Celtic finding their feet.
Yep.
Even though Kyogo led the line that day, wasn't he? The Celtic
he didn't even lead the line, did he? No, playing the wing.
I played the
left. Played up
keep forgetting Edward was still kicking a ball for us at that point.
Exactly. We talked
he was
about
an action.
Such a weird picture seeing the two of them in the same team.
I know. And you've not even seen a photo of that. Like, you never see it just coincidentally a photo of Kyogo and then Edward happening to be in it.
I know. And Edward actually scored like 2 or 3 goals at the start of the season too, so it's quite weird.
Aye. Wow. That
doesn't feel real at all, man.
Feels like a kind of brain
I don't know, because I mean, it's been so long since we've really been able to see Kyogo for the start of a game. It'll be different to see, but Yakimakis has been a handful for their defence the past 2 games that we've played them, so ideally you'd want him starting. As much as Kyogo's brilliant, you know what Yakimakis can do against them, so it's a bit of a disappointment if he can't make it in for Sunday, but even then you're still confident Kyogo would know in. The
one thing I would say about Kyogo though is I thought he looked really sharp when he came off the bench against St Johnstone. It looked like he hasn't really skipped a beat. He was really unlucky not to score as well. And Ryan, there's this, now you look at the Rangers defence, and the last 2 times we've played them, we've rattled them very easily, and they've looked really nervous. Goldson has looked a train wreck every time, well not every time, the last 2 times we've played Rangers. Kyogo's got more than enough to do the same as what Giacomakis does in that aspect of things. Yeah,
he's a completely different threat. I think Giacomakis gives us a sort of focal point up front that we can just rely upon, but he's also in Rangers' heads 24/7. You see that with Ryan Jack in the last game. He couldn't even look at Giacomakis because he was scared of him. He was so scared of him.
It was Jack that stuck his horn in his face as well.
He's a weirdo. He's a very
weird
player.
We went in depth about him last. I don't know if you watched the show last week, Kieran, but we went in depth about Ryan Jack being a pussy.
Crying Jack.
Yes.
Do you know, Kyogo, I mean, it's not as if we're downgrading or anything. I think a lot of us would have said that Kyogo's our best striker when he was out injured. That just shows you how well Giacomakis has done, that we haven't really missed him as much. I mean, better teams than us would have missed a player like Kyogo in their team. So we've done so well to sort of live without him. But I just hope he can last 50, 60 minutes in the game. And then that's assuming that he does start. I think he will start.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. I think the only other option really is to maybe bring Abada in and then put Maeda
up front
something like that.
But I prefer him on the left anyway. So I mean, I guess we'll talk about that though. But do you know, it's good to have Kyogo back. At least we have Kyogo back. And
can we have Abada playing, but with his broken heart?
Oh, listen, that's a heartbreak, innit? That's like
that gives me an even bigger incentive to play him. He'll be playing on anger.
He's going to score and then do a celebration to the camera.
Somebody posted on Twitter today, and it was like, who was it? There was like a Insta story for ages ago, and somebody broke up with a bird. And I was like, I can't remember who it was now. And it's like the caption was Abada on Sunday, and it was something like performed like that to like piss off my ex or something. I don't know.
No, you thought the thing I instantly thought of when I was thinking of scenarios. Remember Gabriel Jesus when he first signed for City and he done the week.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because the girl that wouldn't pick up my calls back home. Shut up.
We've all been there. But aye, it's you laughing at Kieran. That's why I turn this into a heartbreak programme. We've all got stories.
Reporting for Heartbreak Hotel.
I'm not going to mention any names.
But listen, we've got a lot of firepower for this game, and defensively I'm confident as well. Rangers haven't posed too much of a threat to us in the last couple of games, and touch wood that happens again, but we've got a team now who's settled and a team who can handle that at Hampden. I think, as I've said 3 times already, I think in this show, it's a second home stadium. The one thing that's going to be massive about this game is the split. The 25,000 versus 25,000. This is the first time since the League Cup final that we've had anything like this. 2019. That was, over 2 years ago now. It's got to be. Kieran, I know. Are you going, Ryan?
Yeah.
You got balloted, that's right. But Kieran, we'll be there to give her. I mean, I'm actually really buzzing for that aspect of the game.
I'm looking forward to it because, after all the arguments about allocations and that for away fans at Celtic Park and Ibrox, now we've got the one thing where it can't really be altered. It has to be half and half. And I think it's always good when it's half and half. It's always a good bit of back and forth and that. And I don't know. I just like the games against them at Hampden for the atmosphere wise. I think it's good, but obviously you've got the whole tifo situation as well.
We'll come on to it.
Do you see Hearts are actually allowed one?
Why we know?
I don't know.
It's not as if like any of the last ones.
Hearts one's for that Zaliukas, I think.
No.
Is it because they told Police Scotland what their tifo was going to be? And
I
don't know if the Green Brigade maybe haven't told them.
But
that was only a rumour that I heard, so I'm not too sure.
It might be the case. I'm
Could
no
be.
idea.
It's like we've never caused offence with any of our tifos in the past at Hampden. I can't think of any that have been. The last one was Santani sack. And then
it was meant to be.
Maybe they can make it. No, when I was sitting anyway.
That was a UB special, man.
And then before that, it was the Bertie Old one.
That was brilliant.
That was a cracker. And we've had a lot of good ones, and we'll come on to that. That's one of the topics I want to talk about in today's show. But let's we've been talking for how long? 18 minutes. So let's get into kind of talk about our 11 then that we would play. How many changes do you make from that St Johnstone team, that 7-0 team, which was also the same team that played against Rangers, I believe, man for man? There was no changes, was there? I don't think so, going into that game. We had Joe Hart in goals. I'll run through what the team was. It was Joe Hart in goals, Juranovic at right back, Carl Vickers and Starfield, Taylor at left back, McGregor with Rogic and Hatate in front of him, then Maeda, Giacomakis and Jota. Is the only change that we make to those teams, or that team, Giacomakis coming out for Kyogo?
Yeah, I think the only change he makes is the enforced change, if he can't play.
And if he can play, would you keep him in?
Oh, aye, absolutely.
Would you agree, Kim?
Aye.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
That's what I said earlier. If it was possible, I'd have started the exact same team for Ibrox, but obviously if it's no, then not much you can do. But I'm more than happy with Kyogo actually playing, but I think it's just going to be a different sort of option it gives you. I'm missing the boys in, like they put in behind for Kyogo, and he's just absolutely pelting it in behind him.
One thing I would love him to recreate is that final goal against Hibs, because I want it to be more iconic being against Rangers. See that chipping the keeper sort of image, and
as I said,
very Larson-esque.
That got my vote.
Got my vote as well. I got my vote as well. We'll come on to that, but that I got my vote. Kieran, Ryan, you were about to say something there in relation to like Kyogo or the 11 or something.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Kyogo and Maeda play more, because in that 15 minutes we've seen the two of them have an almost sort of telepathic sort of bond, and they've not even played with each other at all. I don't even know if they've played in Japan at the same time.
I don't think so.
It's incredible.
That
they seem to be
that
was second only to Jota in terms of passes of the season, I would say. Jota's pass to Kyogo against Ferencváros was incredible. That's
filthy.
They were quite similar in that respect, but it's that seventh goal was just absolutely perfect. I loved every bit of that goal.
See, this was the thing I was going to say, right? See, I know it's probably going to goal of the season sort of thing, right? But see for yous, I don't know if it's just me. I was talking about this in work. It was like, see for a goal of the season, obviously it's perfect team goal and all that. But see for a goal of the season, I just like some mad screamery a goal or something like that. I prefer that. Everybody can appreciate it's a team goal. It's perfect. Like everything Ange's wanting, but for me, I think goal of the season has to be just a pure out the blue screamer.
See, I miss the days, and I say this all the time, I miss the days of the Premier League when folk would shoot all the time. 30 yarders every week. It would happen, and you don't get that now in the Premier League. You get your odd one here and there, but you don't get... I remember back in like 2008, you'd get 1 week, you'd get Ronaldo doing it, next week you get Gerrard doing it, and then you get Lampard doing it, and then you get some randomer for Fulham doing it. You'd get somebody scoring a screamer every single week because we were willing to shoot, and we weren't quite into that era of passing. I remember him. Like we were in that, we hadn't quite reached the Pep era of football where we start
match of the day.
It was.
I used to like ignore all the scores.
I used to cover my ears and run up the stair or something.
Brilliant, man.
I wouldn't.
Can you do that now?
Kieran has this mad image of me being some like wee idiot when I was.
The scores are about to get hanging, Ryan just sprints up the stairs.
I'd sprint up the stairs and the scores or something. But I like I love that, and I just love goals for range and stuff. So I'm the same as you, Kieran, in that respect. I do love
because it was like even the other year when it was like when we scored that goal against St Johnstone and Lustig done the wee Rabona and then Dembele finally finished the half and there was X amount of passes. I'm like, it's one of the ones you appreciate. It's a brilliant team goal. It completely encapsulates everything that with the philosophy, the football we're trying to play. But I just want screamers.
I want a screamer. But Tierney's against Kelly. That was a goal.
See, that's thing. See a goal that was for I think it won it last year in the Fever Dream season. But Sorrow against Dundee United.
That's right. I forgot about that. That was a good goal.
Even this year as well. Why the options was Turnbull against Motherwell at Fir Park, the first timer.
Yep, brilliant goal. I just love a screamer. I'm gone are the days where we get people shouting "Rooney," just ball in the back of the net. What a time. But to kind of wrap up the Derby chat, I'll allow the floor to be opened. Anything in particular that you want to bring up about this game at Hampden?
Jota's going to turn up in this one. I've just got a funny.
I don't think he was bad in the last one.
No, he wasn't bad, but we know how good he can be.
I get what you mean.
I think there's got to be a game that comes either this game or the next one that he's got to just take over the game. I think he's been on this sort of. He's been quite quiet recently. I know he got the assist for Maeda at the weekend, but I'd like to see him really take over a game like he was doing in the first half of the season.
I'd like to see a man of the match performance again because there was when he first started when he first got put into the team, he was man of the match every single game. It was ridiculous.
Brilliant when he first burst onto the scene.
And also, Maeda, keep on doing what you're doing, mate.
Oh, he answered your question, didn't he?
Aye.
Right, buzzing about that.
Bits, man.
Aye. So, anything for you, Kieran? He's brought up Jota, anything in particular? Or is that you?
Nah, I think I've said my piece.
Said your piece. Just get stuck into the bastards.
Too right.
Did I ask the question? Predictions?
3-0.
3-0?
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, so you're getting cocky.
They'll be knackered. We won't be.
Fair enough. I was going to go conserved and say
we're the best team they'll play this season.
Including the same sides in Europe, Is that what you mean?
We're better than Dortmund in terms of the way we play.
Jesus Christ.
I think we beat Dortmund just now.
Well,
I've looked at their defence.
Listen. I think many teams could beat Dortmund at the minute, to be fair. But I like your confidence. McGinley.
I'm bold. I've got to be bold.
Bold.
No, I'm not bold. No, not yet. Anyway.
That's me. Kieran, I think you're going to be more reserved than that.
You'd be correct in that prediction, Ryan. I'd take a 1-0. I know the game's going to be nervy as fuck anyway, so I'll take any form of win as long as we get through to that final. But 1-0, like Julian offside goal.
That just worries me. But why is Julian even in this situation? Why is he on the pitch at that point?
Subs one for a laugh.
Let's get one for a buzz.
Offside goal.
That just worries me in case we've got somebody sent off or bringing Julian on just out of emergency.
Don't say
there's
that.
No way he's starting again.
I still can't believe we won that game.
Oh, that's the first time we've played at Hampden since that, isn't it?
I know.
It's
crazy. So what brings me on to my next sort of question before we start to progress into the next segment of the show, which involves Hampden. But I want to talk about Hampden a wee bit more. Very quickly, I'm going to ask you for your favourite Hampden memories over the last couple of years, or any year, really. I think the one that stands out for all of us, we'll try and avoid for being the basic answer, the Tom Rogic 90th minute winner. I think that's basically everybody's in our generation anyway, favourite Hampden memory. I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who would say otherwise. Aside from that, any Hampden memories in your lifetime that you particularly enjoy?
I think one of the most recent ones, Kyogo's goal against Hibs, was a really good moment.
Both of them are brilliant, but see, just the fact that like the actual equaliser happened like straight for kick off, I still can't believe it. I went absolute apeshit, man. But
I think I fucking grabbed you and shook you off an helmet. I was like, oh.
We all knew he was such a good player, but that was the day where we were like, this guy's clutch. This guy is really good in the big moments.
Any for you, Kieran, that stand out?
Maybe treble final. Maybe go for that one. Because
sneaking in and
well.
He was so
we'll
good.
spot you in Sunday. No, he's not getting in.
That day was so good, and then we had to ruin it like 20 minutes after. We won't talk about that.
My favourite Hampden moment in recent years was Buffer doing the announcement.
What was that?
The
double treble final.
Rumble.
We were sat in the other stand that game.
Rangers end. Only time in my life I've sat in
Brutal,
Rangers
man.
end. Disgusting. Don't like it. Horrible smell. It lingers. It really does. But yeah, no, I think that I really enjoyed the League Cup final day just because of the fact we didn't deserve to win, and it made that wee bit sweeter that we got there.
Full time, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah,
that was like
the 90 minutes, weren't they? But I mean,
no, you see when the full time hit, we were like, this is a complete heist, a complete snatch and grab.
It was like Seth Rollins cashing in.
That was it, actually.
Heist of the century. So a lot of good Hampden memories, and let's hope that Sunday is another one. We're going to talk about Hampden a wee bit more in a moment, so let's take a little transition into the next segment, and it is time for our first wee game of the episode before we do the end of episode quiz. It's time for Who's That Tick, as we guess this famous Celtic player. Who's that tick? Thank you to Kieran as always. We'll see you on Sunday, Kieran boy, looking forward to it. He's sent in our 2 players for you to guess this week. McGinley, you and Callum both failed last week.
Certainly did.
But this is a tougher one this week.
Tougher
one this week in my opinion. So
is it in our lifetimes?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I believe so. So I am going to start with, and I'm going to ask Kieran Auld, would you like player A or player B? Now I think there's one that you would prefer, is all I'm going to say.
I mean, I've went player B every other time, so I might as well just stick with my guns and go player
Just going
B.
to stick with that one. Okay, right. Did you watch last week?
No.
Okay, right. And I'm going to start putting these on Twitter before the show's released, so that the viewers can have a wee go and have a wee. I'm going to Photoshop David Guetta into a Sellik top and use that as the graphic. I think that'll go down well.
Oh, aye. I'll go down a treat.
Prefer Rihanna in the Celtic top than David Guetta.
Oh, this David Guetta's song, mate.
I mean, it's Rihanna's song. She makes it just as much.
But it's David Guetta's. Right, anyway, we're losing sight of what's really at hand here. Right, Kieran, are you ready? Your player joined Celtic from Leicester City, and he left Celtic to join Leicester City. So there's your player. And he joined Celtic in 2001 and left the club in 2004.
Because in my head, as soon as I heard Leicester, I was like,
Neil
Lenny. I was like, no.
Can't be here. Can't be Lenny.
It was like only 3 years.
Aye.
I don't even know. Oh, you bastard. As soon as I heard the thing, I was like, oh, let it be Lennon. But I don't even know. Left for Leicester 2004, do you say?
Joined in 2001 and left in 2004.
I genuinely don't have a clue.
You want to pass?
I might need to.
The hazard, I guess. Any name. His nationality, English.
Oh, class. 2001, left 2004. It's probably a pure obvious one, but I genuinely...
He only played for Celtic 33 times.
Nah.
Passing. Ryan, you gave this guy's an answer
Steve
last.
Guppy.
Steve Guppy. That's the correct answer.
If in
Never
doubt,
guessed
say
that.
Steve Guppy.
If in doubt, say Steve Guppy. Okay, so Steve Guppy was the first one, and Ryan, your player, the comment section will be joining in, I imagine. Your player joined Celtic from Celtic. He progressed to the senior team via the youth academy and reserves, and he left Celtic to join West Bromwich Albion.
When did he...
He played for Celtic between the years of 2000, his senior team, between the years of 2003 and 2007, making 50 appearances for the club. Nationality, Scottish.
Scottish.
Giving you the same clues. And that's all you're getting.
2003. came from the youth. God, the only name I can think of, Tommy Johnson.
The correct answer would have been, Kieran, do you have any clue? Yeah, that side.
No.
Craig Beattie.
Mate,
Were you thinking?
I actually had that in my head. I was like, no, over that.
So he did.
Craig Beattie.
So he
The
did.
That's
only
your
reason I had
answer.
that in my head was because we were doing one of these quizzes last year on the Zoom ones, and you said the one that had played for
James
Rangers.
Beattie.
Aye.
Aye.
I think you said it. I was like, he did
Boy
not
for
play for
Stoke.
Celtic.
Aye.
Aye, they signed.
So the clue that I should have probably gave you, but I don't think it would have helped you anyway. The thing that tied those two together this week was that both of them linked together as they've only played one game together for 20 minutes in a League Cup tie at Firhill.
Wow.
So there you go.
I like that knowledge. I like
That's
that.
brilliant from Kieran, fantastic, and another great attempt or a great effort from him as always, even though for a second consecutive week we guessed none correct.
He's doing a good job then, he's making it difficult for us.
Yes. Last week I was shocked that Callum never got Glenn Lovins. I thought that would have been a particularly easy one. But he
What
wasn't
was the
thinking-
career path for Glenn Logan?
Well, I can't even remember. That easy,
He
I can't
left to
remember.
join something like Sheffield Wednesday or
Aye,
something.
I
remember,
left to
'cause he
join
went on the
Sheffield
captain
Wednesday
then.
and he joined for fucking, I don't know, Holland or something. I don't know. And I told me he had 2 caps for Holland as well, so I thought he would have got it, but he didn't. But thank you, Kieran, as always. Let's get into the next topic of the show as we approach the half-hour mark. Christ, it's marching on this week. Tricolours. Apparently offensive nowadays. You can't take a tricolour to a football match. Celtic and the North Curve supporters organisation have organised a display because we can't have a tifo at the game, and have encouraged all Celtic fans to take a tricolour with them to the game. It has been met with many a debate online, many of the usual suspects bringing up the patter of Scottish club, of, you know, rednecks, this, that, the next thing, and yeah, a lot of shunning as always when it comes to celebrating Irish heritage. We've also found out today that Hampden are going to be putting on restrictions of some form to the bringing of Irish tricolours. They're trying to limit it to 1 flag per person, and they're also going to be rejecting flags that go above a certain size, apparently. So it looks as though they're taking this quite seriously. The same Hampden Park, may I add, and I will say this with my chest, I don't
know
care.
where this is going.
The same Hampden Park that encouraged Scotland fans to bring Ukraine flags to Hampden for their last game there. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not offended by an Ireland flag. I don't feel anybody should be offended by an Ireland flag, but apparently the officials at Hampden Park believe so. Kieran, you seem like the sort of person who's very outspoken on these matters when it comes to people online getting very sort of backhanded with what they say. What have you thought of all this unravel in the past week?
I mean, and you're fully expecting that lot to be very weird as usual about the whole tricolour situation. The same group of working class people that sing about God saving the Queen at every game, which is, if you want to start the Martin rednecks with blowtorches patter, then you couldn't can't find a blowtorch big enough. Honestly, like, it's beyond, it's just baffling. You knew this was going to be the reaction to it, but honestly, get it up them. Like, just get it up them. And in terms of the whole thing, in terms of the whole 1 flag part, I mean, like, realistically, kids want to go bring more than 1.
Yeah.
And hopefully the sizing thing isn't like taking the piss to, like, because most people's is what,
5x3.
Aye. So unless
Getting very technical now.
no, but I'm like, surely to God that will be allowed, because if they start saying like smaller than that, the wee tiny ones.
Honest to be like fucking the Rangers fans with their wee Union Jacks.
They were the royal wedding.
They were
or like
getting
a coronation or
it was
something.
that day. I think they were lifting the league title. They were lifting the flag on Trophy Day back in like 2010, 2011. And all Rangers fans were with their wee Union Jacks.
Wonder if
they looked like robots, man.
I wonder if that was the same day the Union Bells had their banner. Congrats, William and Kate, born to reign over us.
And yeah, it's apparently a Saturday it is. You know what I mean?
That actually happened.
Yeah.
That banner exists.
Did David Weir not have that on his Rangers top as well?
Did he?
Sort of like congratulations on the engagement or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Did he, mate?
Hope for that freak show bastard. That wasn't the case, man.
Listen, I said my piece on my video the other day. I was very outspoken about it. I find that I just don't understand why people, number one, choose to be offended by a flag. Listen, I don't like the Union Jack. I'm not going to sit there and go, well done, Rangers, representing this great isle, but I'm certainly not offended by it. You know, I'm not going to start greeting when Rangers fans turn up with a Union Jack. So I don't see why people are offended by it. And there's just this issue that always comes out about shunning Celtic for celebrating their Irish heritage. This was a club that was founded by Irish people for Irish people. It flies an Irish flag over the biggest stand in the stadium. I don't understand. It's just an excuse for a moan, I suppose, with that mob.
Yeah.
It was always going to be the case.
I think there's a big problem in Scotland with anti-Irish racism.
There is.
It doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it should as well.
I'm sure there's a report.
I don't really want to get into that because it's a bit of a difficult hole to jump in and get out of. But I think it's a very big problem.
In terms of the whole like picking flags and that, like see the whole Ukraine situation, even about like the whole island thing, like it's just pure cherry picking what you're allowed to back and what you're not allowed to.
Because Palestine flags.
Like, done that in the Scotland game as well.
Like honestly, like when we played Israel, you weren't allowed in with a Palestine flag, and you had the people outside getting pure harassed for it, and it's widely condemned by everybody else. But as soon as it's Ukraine, it's suddenly alright. Like, I just
not that I don't sympathise with the situation.
Exactly,
I do.
but I'm just like, you can't sit and cherry pick things like that. I mean, you got some people that will say, you can completely cherry pick. Well, I remember that was an argument. It was like you can't just pick and choose, and like you've got Rangers fans like, you can pick and choose and what that. Well, that is expected.
Aye. Well, when you've got two brain cells between your support, you know,
it's just a fucking stupid situation that people are getting themselves so worked up about it. And I'm sure in response you'll have other Rangers fans getting a Union Jacks in response, unless they have been allowed a tifo or anything. If that's the case, then surely the fuck no.
Nah, unless there is technicalities, as you said, with the rumour that you heard, then I don't know how it'll work. But yeah, you know, it's just this. You know, what do you expect? This rivalry has existed for the best part of 10 years. But this rivalry between the people has existed for the best part of 100, 150 years. We have grown so used to seeing Irish tricolours and Union Jacks at these games. It's once again, and I'm going to bring it up because I think this is honestly it. When Celtic are on top and when Celtic are winning, you know, that's when the complaints are loudest.
I just don't understand why it's became a pure issue. Right.
And so random as well.
I know.
It's just kind of came out of nowhere.
The one thing I did want to touch on was the whole thing, and this is one. It's always delicate issues to kind of. We've been a podcast that's been very outspoken when it comes to, you know, people in our support who we find annoying or whatever. But there's been a lot of Celtic fans on the same side who are complaining about it.
See, I've actually I've seen people on Twitter saying that, right? But I'm thankfully no came across any of these tweets, right? Because
I have tweeted about it. I've seen a lot of my replies and stuff.
I just choose. Like, I'm trying not to look at things that I know annoy me, because
you try to be nice in your old age, Keil.
I'm trying not to get the blood pressure up, man, because honestly, after last season, I can't afford it, man.
6 years after you already.
Actually, it's, man, but nah, just staying clear of the Facebook pages now, because I don't even want to know what sort of shit's getting spoken there, because if you're saying you're seeing it on Twitter, if it's spilling out like I don't want to know what they're saying on Facebook.
Right, you've bumped him off, Keil.
Christ.
But I know you're right. And the one thing I worded it is, everybody's entitled to their opinion, everybody's entitled to their own thoughts in the situation, as McGinley suddenly dies. Everybody's entitled to their thoughts.
Good now.
You good now? Aye. Was that the last cough you needed?
Sorry, mate.
Everybody is. I respect everybody's opinion. The fact of the matter is, you can choose if you want to take a tricolour at this game. You're not being forced to take a tricolour at this game. If you don't want to take one, don't take one. If you want to take one, take one. What I don't like about the people in our support being critical about it is that I feel like there is a right to say that they cannot, or people like me or people like anybody else who will take one, that they cannot celebrate their heritage, that they shouldn't be bringing it into the game. When, for me, I think politics and football go very strongly together, but I also believe that Celtic and Irishness goes very strongly together. And that's just my thoughts. And people don't, and I respect your thoughts if you don't agree.
See, one of the good things that's came out of this fiasco, but some of the tweets that I have seen for Rangers fans has honestly been fucking hilarious. Like, see that guy that says he's not going to take his 13-year-old daughter to the game because she was too upset about the use of the word war or something. I'm like, honestly, man, that is Twitter heritage right there, man. So that is a Hall of Fame tweet. Like, that is. I was in bits when I seen that. See the replies to it as well. And he says he had Celtic fans like what was he DMing him like that, wishing they could speak out about it. I'm like, Randy Orton voices.
People were saying that gives the Brendan Rodgers Clyde Tunnel story more validity. I love that.
Does, makes it seem realistic. But aye, that was that. Anything you want to say in the matter? And I'm looking forward personally to seeing the sea of tricolours. I'm looking forward to it.
Regardless of what people say, Ireland plays a massive part in Celtic's history. If Ireland didn't exist, then Celtic wouldn't exist. It's as simple as that.
Somebody put it perfectly in my comment section the other day. The name of the team is literally Celtic. Like, That is the whole point in the team's name. Like, you can't get more Irish than that.
And we should be proud of where we came from, because
Absolutely.
because the very reason that the club was founded was to help Irish immigrants. We should be proud of that. We should celebrate that. And I don't see what's so offensive about a flag.
Nothing political about a flag.
No, absolutely. That's their problem.
Yeah,
For finding it
people,
political.
that's what I wanted, and this is one thing that annoyed me. I made that video the other day, and I was very happy with everything I said. And I was actually, I published it. And I was like, not even caring about backlash if people don't like this. But the one thing that did piss me off is that I left out this, and I'll say it now. If you find it political, you're making it political.
Absolutely.
There's nothing about nothing political. You know, if you're the one that's going, oh, that's a political statement about the Republic in the North, is it? No, you're choosing to see that. That's you that's choosing to do that.
If you want to take it that way, that's your
There's been
fucking problem.
nothing said in that statement saying, oh, we're doing this to get it up the North or nothing, or up the Union. There's nothing there that's been said about that. It's their choice if they want to make it political. But aye, that does that. Rant over. I like getting ranty. Yeah, so the last thing I think we have to talk about this week in terms of general topics before we go into Twitter questions and all the rest of it is the end of season awards. It was published today, and I guess we'll just jump over the sort of the main question, and that is who we all voted for in all categories. First of all, Women's Player of the Year.
It's shameless. It's shameless who we all know who we voted for here.
Who?
I can't pronounce her second name, so I'll just say Jacinta.
Is that how you say it? Jacinta? I call her Jacinta. is that the real name though?
I don't know how you say it, and I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that I've watched the Celtic women's team this season. I really should have taken up the opportunity to go to the game and such, but I just voted for the first person on the list.
The popular choice. We'll talk about the men's stuff. Goal of the season, we've touched on it. Me and you voted the same, Kieran. We went for the
Kyogo lob at Hampden.
Yes.
Against Hibs.
Any reason stands above them all?
It's just what the goal meant itself. I mean, obviously you've got goals, like I said, I like a screamer like Turnbull's at Motherwell, and that was a cracking goal.
McGregor's volley.
McGregor's volley against Mitchell, but I think just with what it meant for that game, I think that adds a bit of oomph to it. But I feel like the problem with some of these votes is maybe like recency bias. So I feel like a lot of people are fresh in the mind that goal at the weekend, so that's going to get hundreds of votes. And and even
I was going to mention it. I was actually going to say recency bias.
No, and I think and I don't know if this leads on to the actual Player of the Year thing, but because I think that might actually come into play for Cameron Carter-Vickers getting many of the votes. He's been solid all season, but I feel like it's been getting spoke about an awful lot more now, and it's a lot easier to forget how good Cal McGregor's actually been this season. And I think that's what might actually pip him out of the award. I think Carter Vickers might actually
hold your horses. We'll come to you. Right, get on it. Yeah, get on it. Well, so you voted O'Reilly.
I did, yeah.
Prick.
I just because I was probably taking the whole performance into account. I just loved that game so much, and the scream of the crowd when that went in. It's just the drag back as well from O'Reilly before hitting it in. It's Rogic.
He took it really well.
He's some player.
Some player. Young player of the season.
I think that answers itself.
It had to be a bad, didn't it? I thought it was hard done by not getting in the Player of the Year vote, to be quite honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
But listen, O'Reilly, he's been brilliant. He deserved to be up there. Welsh, I think, was there to make up the numbers. Who else was it joined them again in the fourth option? Who is it again?
Turnbull again.
Turnbull, that's right. Turnbull was the fourth option. It was Turnbull. Yep, it was Welsh, Turnbull,
I don't even mind. I just seen a bad impressed it.
Yeah, it's pretty unanimous, and he needs to pick up, doesn't he? You know, he needs to pick up. So it was pretty easy.
Just want to give him a cuddle.
And
he's going through a lot just now.
And the big conversation, the big one, the Player of the Year debate. Kieran, you've made a very valid point there.
I did vote for Carter Vickers because, I mean, when you take a step back and look at the actual overall of the season, but even I think I've probably been swept up in the whole talk of it recently. Not saying that he's undeserving it, but I think it might take away from looking at how good Cal McGregor's been this year, and it's even like compared to last season as well, man. It's been night and day with Cal Mac. So
nice, okay, very well put. Who did you vote for?
I put CCV as well.
So a table full of CCVs then. Okay. I say like the Thunder is CCV.
Happily sign the contract, give him whatever he wants.
He gets their collective.
Do you know the thing about CCV? You look at how sketchy the form was before we signed him. We signed him in deadline day. I think we we'd won 3 games and lost 3 games. I don't know if it was up to that point by the 30th of August. I think it was.
He played it anyway. We lost 3, won 3, and the last time we lost was Livingston.
That was September. I mean, we'd lost the European game as well, to be fair, against Michelin. So
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he was still bedding into the team, but he's been the difference this season for me. He's kept that whole defence just squeaky clean.
Yep.
I'm so happy that he's
for so long it was sort of unnoticed because I mean everybody was talking about Starfelt and the debate was around him, but while that was happening he was quietly plodding away, putting in stellar performances week in, week out, and now he's starting to get the credit that he deserves. But as I said, I think that is probably why a lot of people, the more talk about it, the more reason people are voting for him, but as I said, no one deserves, but I think it might sway it away for Callum McGregor.
I mean, McGregor's very deserving. And I think it was easily between those two.
He's been playing with a broken face, man.
I know. But Carter Vickers and McGregor as well, but Carter Vickers made everybody around them better. He's made Taylor better. He's made Starfelt better. He's probably made Juranovic and Ralston better. He's been brilliant in that back line and he's been consistently good every week, and so is McGregor. It's easily between those two. And I wouldn't be aggrieved if you chose one of the two and I went the other way. They're both so deserving, but Carter Vickers does it for me. And maybe if we award him that, it'll push him over the line.
I think everybody on that list, I don't think there's anybody there to actually make up the numbers. Everybody could be in with a shout, but I reckon if Kyogo had stayed fit all year, I think it would have been him to be fair.
I said that same thing,
because he's like the superstar sort of feel to him.
Was Jota in there?
Jota was there.
If he was fit the full season, he could have been easily player of the year.
Everybody has a conversation. I went over at my video today. I think Rogic is even up there. He's revitalised himself. He's picked himself back
Joe
up.
Hart's probably, for me, the only other serious, proper serious contender, just because he's came into a position that was so much debate and so many problems last year, the amount of chopping and changing and the amount of errors we were getting at the back, and he's came in for a bit of solidity, and he's just the leadership he's brought in as well. It's very much needed, and I think if he was to win it, he's not going to, but you couldn't argue it. I think it would be deserved.
Decent. Is that what you'd say?
I'm sure that's what he'd say,
But that's your votes for the end of season awards, and that is pretty much it in regards to the main beef of the show. 47 minutes through, that's not bad. It's kind of I don't know if it's flew by or if it's
just been in the middle.
Yeah, it feels nice.
It's nice and steady.
Do you want to see how people are liking this new setup as well?
I know, How do you like this? Upstairs, downstairs? What do you like?
We know the couch is a no-go.
I like the couch. I really do.
I like the idea of being a more relaxed setting instead of sitting around a table, but obviously
the good
need to be full-length trousers.
Aye, the good thing is when I go full time I'll be able to do 2-camera editing as well, because that will be my actual job and I should be using that time to do things like that. So when it gets to that point, we'll fart about, we'll arse about, and we'll see what the best setup looks like, and also try and get some. I was thinking last week we were sitting on the couch, I was like, that big blank white space is just perfect for a canvas or a scarf or fucking something to be hung up.
We'll get the John Joe Kenny boot.
The John Joe Kenny boot. You want to spend the £350?
Is that still in there?
I don't know. Do you think it is?
Surely not.
Put your bets on. Do you think it's still there?
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no, McGinley.
I'm going to say somebody's bought it as a laugh.
£350 on a laugh. Who's buying it? Dermot Desmond.
Some of that sad bastards out there, Ryan.
That is, to be fair.
Sat around this table.
Fuck off. Right, let's see. I'm going to type in signed to the Celtic website, because that's how you usually find these things. Right, okay, we've got a lot of new stuff, by the way. A lot of new stuff on here. Some Kyogo prints. The boot is gone. The boot is gone. However, if you go to the Celtic store, it might still be there. If you really want that John Joe Kenny boot.
It might be in somebody's basket and they forgot to take it out. Maybe it'll come back onto the store at one point. Maybe they'll reduce the price.
There's only one pair of boots on here just now. They belong to Dyson Maida. Would you like to guess how much they cost? Signed, worn match boots.
£4.
Not a bad guess.
350.
£595.
Jeez,
for a pair of boots.
I mean, if it was $350 for a shite player's boots, then
he would turn up to the next show with him, fuck's sake.
He's not even a player yet. I mean, I suppose we've done the same for John Joe Kenny, but
I see the amount of people that are still so confused about
obligation
to buy. Look at the word obligation.
I know. Right, okay, it's time for the Twitter questions. I've got them up here this week. Mind I'll let you have the week off.
Hundreds of questions.
It was a lot today. Thank you very much.
A lot of them surrounding the Fishgate.
Oh, we never even covered Fishgate.
That was incredible.
Was it you that mailed me? No.
I put
You put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Aye, that's right. Aye, you put it in the podcast chat. What the fuck happened there?
I don't know.
Honestly.
I don't think people have caught onto the sarcasm of the Instagram sort of caption. Obviously, it is a big portion of fish. So
Alright, aye, well.
it makes sense when you read it like that.
Kieran, did you like the plate?
I'm not.
You're the food critic of the show.
I'm not a big seafood man.
Oh, that's right, Neil, no. I love seafood as well.
I don't mind a bit, but nah.
Not that much.
That fish didn't look up too much.
It was very dry looking.
What's the batter?
I know you don't need to always have batter with fish, but I mean...
It's not chippy, son.
Exactly. Either that or breaded.
Right.
That or breaded, one of the two.
Let's get into the questions.
There's a lot of food ones here.
I think maybe we'll start up a side podcast on the food, man. It's what the people want.
The Sellik, the food...
Alright, we're working on it.
That's a working title, quite clearly.
Right, Ewan is the first question. Ewan says, if you could have any present player or past player on the Sellik the Thunder, who would you have and why?
I might still Scott McDonald after 67 Hill.
Aye, we skipped
I'd love to talk to him.
That's class, isn't he?
Good. That's a good answer. I just wouldn't expect that as well. I'm still sticking with Joe Hart. I need Joe.
Because I used to love Scott McDonald, man.
I used to love him as well.
He was shit hot when it first started proper getting into football in Celtic.
I'm going Joe Hart. Or I'd maybe like a snout with Georges Samaras.
I'm going to say Petrov.
Oh,
he's my favourite pundit. Whenever he's on Sky
brilliant,
Sports,
isn't he? Really good.
He gets it.
See, you should watch his interview with Tubes. Let's see if you saw Graham on his golf channel. And, like, they done it last year. There's 2 parts to it. It was really good.
A lot of questions on Player of the Year, of course, and the Hampden with the tricolours. We've covered that over the course of the show. Tom asks, who wins in a street fight? Brendan Rodgers after being asked a disrespectful question by a Turkish journalist, or Ange after the ball gets passed back the way in a cup game at home to Rafe Rovers?
Oh, that shout, man.
It's Ange, innit?
It's got to be Ange. Aye, it's got to be Ange. Ange is the easy answer, isn't it? I mean, that was violent. That was violent.
Who was that to? Stephen Welsh?
I think it was.
I've not seen him since.
Seen him in JD.
Yeah, no,
that was a great lineup, wasn't it?
Aye, it was. Aye. Julian, McCarthy,
Welsh and Mikey Johnson.
Mikey Johnson.
Did you see the
A-listers?
did you not see
A-list, like.
Did you not see the tops, the Celtic tops with their names in the back? Like, there was about 5 or 6 McCarthy 16s. I'm like, they're staying there. There's no way anybody's buying that. Unless your name's McCarthy and you're age 16, I don't know.
What's next? Let's see. Who's scoring the screamer on Sunday?
Starfelt.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
Keep on saying it till it happens.
3-0 Starfelt screamer line.
Yep.
Imagine that, Starfelt scoring like company against Leicester.
Oh, what a goal that was. What a goal that was. I think the most likely to score a screamer at the weekend would be Hatate again.
I was going to say Hatate, but that Jota, we colour outside the box.
We finesse.
That'd be brilliant. As we were saying, we want Jota to go and get a goal at the weekend. That'd be lovely.
I like this question from Adam. What's the most mad weight you've ever been for a game? I think it's got to be Leverkusen. I was proper frazzled heading into that game. Like, I was scooshed. And I don't know if we told the story in the podcast anyway, but I'll tell it now. So I went down at half time to get myself some currywurst and a couple of pints for me and Kieran, and brought him back up, gave Kieran the pint, had my own pint. We're standing there and Celtic scored their second goal. Aye, it would have been the second goal of the game. Aye, scored the second goal. And I fucking, as you do at these German games with your pint, I fucking launched it right down the front, and I turned around to Kieran to celebrate with him, and I just go, take his pint, fucking bang it, throw it down as well.
Let's see if he had paid for it, but still.
It was always my choice because I paid for the pint.
Fucking pure truth. Golf, man. I don't know. Well, I remember see the Michelin game at the start of the season. I remember you done the wee match day like vlogging, and
you were raging after that.
No, let's see, but like before the game, you're doing like a wee hang outside Sellik Park, and I'm stood there, I looked absolute frazzled, man. The next day, my dad was watching it or something in the living room. My man's like, the fucking state. I wasn't even that bad.
I was pretty pickled for the game against Rangers there as well, the 3-0.
Oh Christ.
Because we were boozing all day basically. Going into that.
It was only
3 o'clockish.
That's sure.
What about you, Mike?
Murrayfield was pretty bad.
But against Hearts?
Aye.
Oh fucking aye.
Pretty pissed going into that as
Because it was early goals as well. I just finished my shift at Morrison's, so I had to run back, get a shower and get to the training.
I generally can't even think of a standout. I've not been that mad. I don't pure remember the game or nothing, but
I remember being mad waiting Tenerife watching a couple of games, like you know how when you're
when you're watching the telly.
I fucking hate watching Sellik when I'm on holiday, man. Like, see, most of the time, like I very rarely actually see a Celtic win. Like when we were in Zante in 2018, we drew at home to Athens.
Yeah,
that was brutal, man. Pretty sure that the guy that worked behind the bar at the hotel we were staying in was a fucking. Did he support them, or was he an Olympiacos fan or something?
He was an Olympiacos fan, and he wanted us to. Do you know, want us to beat them?
Aye, but I couldn't remember if he was happy or scunnered that we didn't beat them. So.
Aye, had a few.
I remember we played Leicester.
The penalty shootout.
Aye, I think O'Connell's got an absolute screamer.
Yeah, we were there.
I was watching in the Hoops Bar in Tenerife. Shout out to the Hoops Bar, it's brilliant.
Sure he's watching.
Stevie. His name's Stevie, I actually don't know him. The units of vodka over there are different to the ones that are over here. Aye.
Scruffy Murphy's.
Shout out to Scruffy Murphy's.
Shout out to Scruffy. Shout out to Scruffy. Fucking pint of vodka Red Bull, €5. That'll bore a heat out of you, man.
There was about a 10 or 15 minute walk home. I'd had obviously maybe 2 or 3 of them. I was seeing treble, honestly. It was an absolute nightmare the whole way back.
A sign of things to come for Celtic.
Yes. If it was any game in general, it'd be London for the Scotland-England game, because I didn't even see
that was my first time having the wee Magnum. Fuck me.
They bloody have your name,
I don't remember a fucking thing for that game, man.
Callum Craig's chipped in with a question. Shout out to our friend on the show, obviously. He's not here this week, but Callum Craig's asked, dream away trip? Dortmund for me.
Dortmund, yeah, me too.
I'm trying to think of something different.
Out the box.
I don't even know.
I'd like to experience the San Siro before it goes as well.
When's that actually?
I think next season's the last season, isn't it?
That's the thing, you get all sorts of tickets for San Siro as well, so I'd go San Siro.
Right.
Atletico Madrid as well.
The new one.
That was crazy last night, absolutely crazy.
Okay, Beans is here, and Ryan, you'll like this question, I don't know if you've seen it already.
Cat House one.
If you got to take one player to the Cat House for the night, but the outcome of that determines if they stay at Celtic, who would you take and why?
No, I mean, if you're taking them to the Cat House, you're obviously wanting them to no stay at Celtic here, so who are we wanting ready? I'll take Barkas.
Oh, listen now. Listen, Easter Sunday's coming.
Oh, fuck off.
You know what's going to happen. Team announcement on
tomorrow,
Sunday.
Joe Hart's going to break his arm or something.
Team announcement Sunday morning. In goals number 1, Vasilis Barkas. He comes out Undertaker style. Oh, God.
A boulder gets moved.
That he went right for the tunnel.
It's blocking the tunnel. That's the actual sacrilege, man.
So you're taking Barkey? That's a sin. What
does it mean about the outcome though? Does that mean you need to pull?
Well, no,
he's meaning like
so you can risk taking somebody that would enjoy it, but realistically they're going to want to leave.
Right.
Bump into Ryan Kent on there.
It's true. Bumped into him a couple of times. Penalty to Rangers. I think we might be a good night out, to be fair. Although he likes a game of golf, I've heard.
Aye. I don't know who I'd take. I wouldn't be going.
Do you know who was out and about today? Yeah. Josip Juranovic. He was at Kelvin Grove today.
No, I've seen that.
The wee legend that he is.
Nice to get out and about, I suppose.
And it's good that the players can do that, because obviously last season we couldn't do that. So many players struggled to acclimatise, so it's good that they can get out and about and see things.
Majota down at Anfield.
Josh was asking.
I don't like that as much, to be fair.
Josh was asking Carter Vickers smash or pass. Smash.
Prefer not to speak.
We've got 4 Tims asking that question. Shout out to 4 Tims in the podcast. Fantastic lads. Go and follow them on Twitter. Of course, we've all
they just hit 10,000 followers.
Yeah, they did.
You've got the cheek to say go and follow them on Twitter, man.
What?
We're not even at 4K.
We need to follow.
Listen, we'll get there.
Some 4 Tims followers follow us, please.
Is there anyone or any goal missing from the Celtic of the Year awards that you feel deserves a mention?
I seen that question. I liked it. I was thinking, I seen somebody else mention the whole the Turnbull goal at Dundee United, minded,
underrated goal.
But see, just in terms of a goal I liked as well, let's see Leverkusen when we went 2-1 up, let's see like the counter attack, Joe Hart throws it up and then Kyogo gets the pass off and then Jota just hits it pure sweet into the corner. And because we were there as well, I think that would probably be my answer.
Anything for you, McGinley?
Maybe not in terms of the overall quality of the goal, but Ralston's against Ross County is massive. That header, I think it's true. I think it's such a good header as well. I mean, the amount of time he's in the air as well. Obviously, I didn't see that live because I was always seeing Spider-Man, but it was good to watch again and again.
Yeah,
you'd have thought he was up in the air for an extra minute and 30 seconds. The way the Rangers fans were moaning about the added time that night. 3 seconds of the minimum time.
Aye, that's right.
God, I hope we beat them on Sunday. Is that controversial?
No, of course not.
Controversial opinion. I hope we win on Sunday.
Anthony Devine asked, did the bad in his bird fall out after not getting a large fish?
Potentially.
Shame if it is.
Oh, as funny as the fish patter was the other day, I hope it's not something that sticks around forever. No, because it's
seen its time.
See, when Celtic tweeted that a second time, I was like, nah. We've heard it now.
You've had your tweet.
Like when they crossed out the fish for beef, I was like, they're not even alike whatsoever. don't stop it. You're ruining it.
You're ruining it. Kieran, obviously, who does the wee game, and Kieran that we'll be seeing on Sunday. We're having a few drinks with Kieran on Sunday. Kieran, that's quite confusing to say.
I know, I'm getting fucking confused, man.
We'll be seeing Kieran on Sunday, but he's asked what's the cargo for Sunday. What are we drinking, boys?
Bottle of Doug for the bus.
Bottle of Doug. Bucky for myself. Buckfast man meat.
I just don't like the idea of that plastic bottle.
It's brilliant. It's better. See a Evian sports cap bottle. Oh, beautiful. Not about you. You having a drink?
Yeah, I'll have a couple of ciders before the game.
Oh, mad one.
Mad, aye.
I can't drink.
Did you say you don't even want a drink? To be honest,
I can't drink cider, man.
Horrible drink.
See, because I don't know what I'm doing after the game, so I'll play it by ear.
Play it by ear. Question for Kieran Auld. Says Aidan Smythe. Singled out. Spotlight's on you. What are we on? So I thought it was an hour and 10. I was like, oh my god, maybe I'll move. We're on an hour, so we'll try and fire through as quickly as possible here. Question for Kieran Auld. You have 3 choices of Scran from Costco. This is Aidan, by the way, Kieran's wee bra. You have 3 choices of Scran from Costco, but you can only have one forever, and you have to get rid of the other 2. What would it be? The hot dogs, the chicken bakes, or the pizza?
Pizza.
Is that what you're keeping?
Easy. I don't like hot dogs in general.
Aye,
I think they're stinking.
Same.
I never take a hot dog.
That was a quick answer.
I have like your pizza out there, man.
You said that in the hangy, didn't you? Favourite Sensations flavour? Personally, it's balsamic vinegar for me, says Stuart Miller.
Never had Sensations.
Sensations mad man. Everybody pure loves the Thai sweet chili. Pure basic.
I think they're overrated.
Man,
I think they're overrated, but I'm surprised you've not had them.
Tell you what packet of crisps I had last night that were completely different. I've not had them in years. Barbecue hula hoops.
I've never tried them, I don't think.
Wait, is that the wee beef ones? Like the brown packet?
Yeah, I have had them.
Salt and vinegar hula hoops are buying as well, man.
Have you tried the new Wotsits?
No.
Because I have, and I like it.
What flavour?
Flaming hot crunchy. So it's like knickknacks.
I don't like knickknacks.
But you still love knickknacks too?
Just the hot bit. They're nice. I think you'd like them.
I had a...
The best crisps are the Walker's Max Strength Jalapeno Cheese. Easy.
Best part of Coatbridge, Ryan, says Luke.
My house.
Just your house.
I mean, there's a lot of shite parts of Coatbridge.
You can say that again.
You've been through it like once or something?
Oh, listen, I've been through Coatbridge many times. Just certain parts, no.
Just really quickly.
Yes, I've been in a time. I used to go to. I was a time capsule regular when I was a child. I'll have you know. Right, let's fire through some more final ones. Let's get there. And thank you to everybody who's got questions this week, because it was one of the best received ones we've had yet. So thank you. Keep that up, and we'll try and get to all your questions whenever we can. Carl has asked who's going to win the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. Quick fire. I'm going to go for Rasenballspor Leipzig for the Europa League. I'm going to go for. Real Madrid for the Champions League.
Wow.
And I'm going to go for Leicester City for the Conference League. That's my 3.
I'm going to go for Champions League, Man City, Europa League, Leipzig, and Conference League, Roma.
Cool.
Liverpool for the Champions League.
3 different Champions League winners there.
I mean, I want to go somebody different for Leipzig. Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
I
would
think
love
they
to see
will.
Frankfurt
I think
win.
they
I
will, but-
want Frankfurt to
See
win
the
it.
away allocation they
Brilliant,
got, man.
brilliant.
30,000.
Stupendous.
Incredible.
Who's the
Brilliant
full
club.
left in conference? Roma.
Roma, Leicester, Feyenoord, and we spoke about it in the way here, and I forgot. It's quite a big club.
Marseille.
Marseille.
Okay, I'll go Marseille.
Marseille. Been there a few times in my life. Lovely city.
Payet, did you see Payet's goal? Yeah. The one
No.
that they
The one
scored
for
last.
last week.
No.
Incredible.
Brief.
Best takeaway. I've been done that about 100 times. I think. With fucking
Chinese.
McDonald's.
Fucking child, man.
Well, I love a McDonald's, mate. Let's see. I think we've starting to become a CEO of food questions now. So honest thoughts on Five Guys, says Billy.
Never had one.
Oh,
Overpriced but banging.
yes, overpriced but banging is the answer.
I'll need to give it a go then.
So good, but it's overpriced as
I
fuck.
feel like I go to that BRGR Hinton again.
Aye,
Because I feel like that's actual value for money.
What is Kieran Old's go-to? Kieran Old's. That's a posh version of you, Kieran Old. What's your go-to hangover scran, mate?
Well, I've already planned out what I'm getting on Monday. It's going to be a Black Rooster. But normally I don't mind a wee... even though I just called Ryan a child for a McDonald's, some things are alright. But sometimes a wee flaming rat for KFC, I know.
Nice. Okay. Aidan asked sausage supper or black pudding supper? Sausage supper for me.
Sausage.
A lot
Not
of
tomorrow,
food
though.
questions this week. And let's see if we can end it on a nice wee Celtic or Derby related question.
Good luck.
Good luck. There's fish, fucking Chinese or Indian. There's fucking all
I think we're
sorts.
getting a reputation here.
Aye.
People aren't asking about the football anymore. When are we going to talk about the football?
Well, you said you want to talk about football. When are we going to talk about the football? You're a I'm a what? Mate, listen, they're all about fucking food. Thoughts on the shocking betrayal of Leah Abada. Sad.
One man's loss is another man's opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, he's trying to
Christ.
slide in.
Just along with half a Celtic sort of.
Right, okay, we'll go on to the final segment of the show. It is time for, if you know, your history's quiz. This week it's very big because we've now all played 5 games. We've all competed in 5. The league table currently stands at me and McGinley joint top with 3 wins, and Kieran and Callum, yous are down with 2 wins so far out of 5.
Close table though.
So
Very close.
this week I won't be reading out the questions. It'll be Ryan McGinley reading out the questions. So Ryan, take it away. Chris Tarrant.
So who wants to be
Warwick
set A,
Davis.
set B? Who will ask? We'll ask Kieran. What's
No.
he say?
Kieran, I'll let you choose.
Do you want to be set A or set B?
I always go set B, so I go set B.
Set B, no bother. So Ryan, your first question is: Cameron Carter-Vickers played against former Celt Aidan Nisbet while on international duty for USA. True or false?
I'm gonna go for. It seems very niche, so I'm gonna go for true.
Correct. It was the USA under-20s versus the Scotland under-19s in 2015.
Nice.
So Kieran, your question: if Celtic win the Scottish Cup, Cal McGregor will have won more trophies than Danny McGrain's at Celtic. True or false?
Ooh. I'm going to say... I'll just go true.
Correct. McGrain has 14. Cal will have 17 if we win the Scottish Cup.
Wow.
Incredible.
Brilliant record.
To make it 2-1, Ryan.
Nice.
Which Celtic player was spotted in the crowd during Liverpool's match against Benfica?
Jota.
Correct. To make it 2 each, Kieran. Which 2 Celtic players made the trip to Manchester
Neil
last week?
Beaton and Leah Labada.
Correct.
We never even touched on the photo.
No.
Yeah, we've been doing a shite. Yeah, what that photo really does. See, because he got patched now, right? He could have been having a wee greet.
Do you know, this makes me love Beaton even more. He's an absolute
Take
bro.
his wee Brad
I
then.
love that.
Aye.
I mean, there's about 10 years of an age difference between them.
I think so. Aye. Oh,
It's
sorry.
incredible.
Sorry
Love
for
that.
banging the mic there, boys. On you go. Next one for me.
Next month.
No.
I just done the thingy one.
You
so
got
it's-
yours?
Terrible quiz host, mate. Terrible
Sorry.
quiz host.
I just done the...
It's me, mate.
It's him. I just
You
answered
just done a
the...
real bad and you're beat on at the fucking toilet.
Then we broke away.
He's fucked this.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Fucking terrible quiz host. Matthew Duff, hang your head and shoot. Well, no, you hang it.
Wait,
Shame
I'm
him.
confused here now.
How-
Oh my god.
Right, so you asked me a question, right?
I
Then you asked him a question.
I asked you the Man City Liverpool one.
No, you didn't.
No.
You asked him the man. You
No,
asked me.
he had the Jota.
The one with
Anfield.
Jota.
I had the
fucking
one near
Anfield.
Beaton and Abada.
Wait, did you say set B?
I am set
That's
B.
fine. That's fine. Sorry, I'm just
So
getting
it's me
confused.
now.
Sorry, mate. Gotta keep it right. Sorry, I'll never get doing this again, man.
I've got to bring him an
Okay, I'm a wee bit nervous.
Go.
Celtic cult hero Mikael Lustig won how many Scottish Cups during his time at Celtic?
Oh, that's a cracker of a question. Right, so he was here for the treble, which means he won 3, but then he would have won 1 or 2 more than that. I'm going to go 5.
4.
Bastard!
2012-13 season.
12-13, 16-17, 17-18 and 19-20.
So he wasn't here for the one we won with, was it 10-11 we won?
Aye,
so he wasn't here for that.
Nah, he came in 2012, I think.
Yeah, I can't.
Or the he wasn't there during the lockdown season as well.
I didn't count that. I said treble.
Alright, that's cool then.
Bugger.
So Celtic are unbeaten in their last 17 trips to Hampden, but which is the last team to defeat Celtic at Hampden?
Ross County. No.
Rangers at the end of the Dialect era when they were in the
I
Championship.
thought, because it was defeats, I was thinking actual in the 90 minutes. See, because my head had the record is 17-2 and 2.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
So I was thinking, that just seemed too on the nose.
So you got that wrong here?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He's both.
I thought it'd have been the obvious answer, but
Question 4 then for me to take the lead.
Yep. Which ex-Celtic player coached both Matt O'Reilly and Paddy Roberts during his time at Fulham?
Ex-Celtic player
I know this.
that coached Matt O'Reilly
The answer's in front of me, but I would know this.
when they were both at Fulham. Paddy Roberts. He was at Fulham 2000 and... Well, it would have been the fucking same time they would have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, which former Celtic player?
Which ex-Celtic player coached both Matt O'Reilly and Paddy
Who the
Roberts?
fuck's a coach at Fulham? That's a good question. I honestly don't think I've got a Scooby, and I don't
Just
want
give a name.
and I don't want to keep us here all day for me thinking in an answer. So I'm going to hazard a guess, and it's a wrong guess, but I'm just going to go for Damien Duff.
Peter Grant.
That's right, because he was on 67 Hail Hail talking
Yep.
about Matt O'Reilly.
Yep.
Hamish, I have let you down. I have let you down.
Right. I'll ask you this question, but I don't know if it's right or not. Cal McGregor's goal against Midtjylland was amongst those nominated for goal of the season, but which Celtic player received a red card that night?
What kind of mind?
ooh, because obviously Beaton got sent off in the home tie, but who the fuck got sent off in that one?
Did we get a red card that night?
That's what I'm saying.
So is
is Beaton the answer that he put?
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously meant the tie, and he's not put the tie.
Aye.
We'll give you the
That
correct
night,
answer.
yeah.
You've had a mare there again, Matthew, son.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I love
so
this.
I need to get this right now. I
I
need
hope
to get
you
this
know
right.
this. This is quite
because
niche.
if I don't get it right, Kieran's won.
Right. So Maida's celebration is based on which fictional Japanese character?
Why would I know this?
Do you not know this?
No.
I remember seeing
I
the
seen
fact that it was about something like that.
all I could say is it's for an anime. That's all. Or a manga, one of the two. That's all I can say. I don't know the fucking name yet now. My pal Ross, he watches a few of these.
He's shouting.
He watches a few
This is
of
a
these.
Wayne show though. This isn't like one of those.
Oh fuck!
teen
I
ones.
was going to say One Piece, but
I've heard of that, but it's not.
That's got like 1,000
so I've
episodes.
lost this weekend. Are you right? What's the answer?
Anpin Man.
What the fuck?
I know.
Anpin Man. You know the wee baldy guy?
I know what it's for. You've got it as your well, it's basically your lock screen, but it's Maida on him. I wouldn't get it.
I don't know how the fuck anybody's meant to know that.
And they put up a tweet about it, like saying what it was from. To be
Did
fair,
they?
so.
I would have got that, but
Well done, mate.
Sorry, mate.
It's not you playing.
I don't get any points for it. Mate, sorry.
So well done, Kieran Auld. Well done.
I
Answer this
want the
question.
question anyway.
So Celtic were knocked out of the League Cup by Morton in 2013-14 with a penalty in extra time, but which player caused the penalty with a handball?
What year did you say?
13-14.
Effie Ambrose.
Correct. What an answer.
It seems like a safe bet.
And the tie-break question would have been, how many passes lead up to Matt O'Reilly's goal v St Johnstone?
12.
71.
The answer was 41.
Yeah. 12 was a
We
good
both
guess.
went very different.
We went very different there. I don't know. I don't care. I've lost. I threw the toys in the pram.
Sorry.
I hate losing. Quizzes especially. That's us then for this week's podcast. An hour and 15 into the show.
Class.
Good time. And another good time had by all around the table.
Absolutely.
We head into another huge weekend and I cannot be more excited. Huge. Kieran, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure.
I'm looking forward to the journey home. Ryan, thanks.
Don't bother me. Sounds a wee bit. Thanks, mate.
I'm joking. Thank you for joining me, Ryan.
Cheers, mate.
If you have enjoyed the show, you know what to do, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, etc., etc.
Share it out with your family and friends.
Yes, that's one of the ones as well. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, whatever you do, Kieran?
Give it 5 stars.
5 stars. That's it. Well done.
Can you give 5 stars on Spotify? Is it just on Apple?
No, you can do it on Spotify now.
Can
That's
you?
a new
Aye.
feature now, isn't it?
They've added that. So the more 5 stars we have, the better. Thank you to all our regular and loyal listeners. Thank you to all the new ones who may have tuned in this weekend. We hope you have a pleasant one. Goodbye.
I'm not coming back.
Cheerio.